Your mind is a battlefield where the fiercest fights happen unseen. And right now, a war is raging inside you. Imagine waking up with a sense of calm so deep that the usual morning doubts vanish. But before that calm arrives, you feel a tremor, the faint voice whispering, "What if you fail today? What if you're not enough?" That voice is negative thinking, and it steals life from your days. Yet, there is a way to silence it forever. Ancient thinkers faced storms of doubt, anxiety, and fear. They discovered a mindset that refuses to bow to negativity. This is not a magic pill or a quick fix. It is a lifelong practice that transforms your inner world. And if you stay with me, you will learn to wield this power so fiercely that no dark thought can stand. Every time a negative thought rises, ask yourself, who speaks? Is this voice serving me, or is it my enemy? Too often we accept these voices as truth. We believe them, we replay them, and we shape our lives around them. What if you did not believe every thought? What if you learned to choose the ones that build you up rather than tear you down? Stoic wisdom offers a roadmap. In the first moments of your day, most people reach for their phone and dive into a sea of notifications, worries, and comparisons. You could choose a different path. Picture yourself sitting quietly before dawn, focusing on one question: how will I face what comes? You create intention. You decide you will not be a slave to random thoughts. When you step outside, you see people rushing, eyes fixed on screens, hearts heavy with unseen burdens. Their minds replay past regrets or fear future failures. They miss the present moment, where life truly happens. But you have another choice: to stand apart, aware of every breath, noticing thoughts as they appear, like clouds drifting across a clear sky. You observe without judgment. Negative thinking often follows familiar patterns, imagining worst-case scenarios, replaying mistakes, believing limitations. Your mind is wired to protect you, but sometimes it overprotects, turning caution into fear. Stoicism teaches that you cannot control external events, but you can control how you respond. When negative thoughts whisper, "What if they judge you?" you can respond, "Maybe they will. But that does not change who I choose to be." This shift is small in a single moment, enormous over a lifetime. Now consider the power of a single moment of stillness. Sit alone for a few breaths. Notice the noise in your mind, worries, doubts, judgments. Let them pass like leaves floating on a stream. You do not chase them, you do not cling. In that silence, you discover a truth. Most negative thoughts are fabrications, illusions built on fear. Recognizing this weakens their grip. Imagine the first time you practiced this. The storm of thoughts rages. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of pain. You pause. You breathe. You rest in the space between thought and reaction. In that space, choice arises. You choose calm. You choose to respond with clarity, not react with panic. Each time you do this, you strengthen a muscle, the muscle of inner freedom. Stories of people who transform their lives through this practice are not myths. A leader trapped in a small cell for decades kept hope alive by focusing on the power of his mind, refusing to believe that walls could contain his spirit. A survivor in unimaginable suffering found meaning by deciding that no circumstance could steal his ability to choose his attitude. When negative thinking threatened to crush them, they held fast to the belief that the mind can rise above pain. Your life will not be free of challenges. You will face rejection, loss, uncertainty. But each challenge is a test. Will you let negativity harden you, or will you turn hardship into strength? When a setback happens, pause before the voice of despair takes over. Ask, what can I learn? How can I grow? This question reframes pain as opportunity. Training the mind to kill negative thinking takes habits. Begin each morning by imagining possible obstacles and rehearsing calm responses. Write down your intentions. Today, I will focus on what I can control. I will accept what I cannot. I will meet discomfort with courage. In the evening, reflect on moments when negative thoughts appeared. Did you meet them with awareness or surrender? Note the victory when you chose a. Discomfort is a teacher. When you face mild hardships willingly, cold water on your skin, a moment without comfort, you prove to yourself that you can endure. Each voluntary challenge weakens fear's hold. You learn. Discomfort is temporary, but strength lasts. When negative thinking tells you to avoid risks, to stay safe in a shrinking comfort zone, remember that life's greatest joys come from growth. The Stoics said, happiness comes from living according to virtue, acting with courage, wisdom, justice, and self-control. Negative thoughts often push you away from those virtues. You feel too afraid to speak up, too anxious to act with kindness, too focused on loss to embrace generosity. By killing negative thinking, you reclaim your path to a meaningful life. Feel the tension that builds when you imagine confronting a fear, speaking in public, sharing a vulnerable truth, making a bold decision. Negative thinking whispers, "You'll look foolish. People will judge." But in reality, moments of vulnerability often inspire connection. When you choose honesty over hiding, you spark trust. When you speak from the heart, you grow stronger, regardless of the outcome. Think of ancient proverbs. The oak fought the wind and was broken. The willow bent when it must and survived. Negative thinking is like a rigid oak resisting reality. Stoic mindset is like the willow, flexible, aware, adapting to circumstances without losing integrity. Bend with the winds of life. Stand tall on your route of inner freedom. Every time you catch a negative thought, respond as a warrior would. Observe the enemy. Hold ground. Then let the thought pass. Do not engage in battle unnecessarily. Recognize that some thoughts arise from habit, not truth. When the mind suggests worst-case scenarios, test them. How likely? Even if the worst happens, can you handle it? Usually, yes. You have endured before. This simple inquiry breaks the illusion of power that negative thoughts hold. Your heart may race when doubt appears, but remind yourself, fear is a signal, not a sentence. Observe the sensation, let it pass, then choose action rooted in purpose. Each time you act despite fear, you weaken negative thinking's authority. Ancient Stoics advised reflecting on death and loss not to be morbid, but to sharpen appreciation for life. When you remember that life is finite, petty worries shrink. Negative thinking thrives on magnifying small problems into crises. Keeping perspective, knowing that everything is temporary, dissolves their power. Today's troubles are tomorrow's memories. Choose to focus on growth, connection, and contribution rather than on fear of imperfection. Picture a moment when negativity nearly convinced you to quit. Maybe a project, a relationship, a dream. That voice said, "You can't do this." But deep inside, you heard another voice, "Maybe I can." Stoic mindset encourages you to nurture that voice. Feed it with truths. You have strengths. You learn from failure. You grow through effort. Each small step forward accumulates into profound change. Mindfulness and presence are weapons against negative thinking. When you fully attend to the present, negative stories about the past or future lose hold. Engage fully with whatever you do. A conversation, a walk, a task. Notice details, colors, sounds, feelings. This anchors you in reality, not in fearful imaginings. Yet, presence alone is not enough. Combine it with gratitude. Negative thinking often focuses on what's missing. Gratitude shifts focus to what you have. Health, opportunities, relationships. Even in hardship, gratitude reveals resources, strength, lessons, compassion. Practicing gratitude daily rewires the mind toward positivity without ignoring reality. Imagine facing a major challenge with this toolkit: calm awareness, perspective on impermanence, acceptance of what you cannot change, focus on what you can, presence, gratitude, and deliberate action. You become like a seasoned sailor navigating a storm. You cannot calm the sea, but you can steer the ship. Let stories inspire you. A person lost everything, yet rebuilt life by focusing on small daily actions and refusing to believe self-defeating thoughts. Another transformed chronic anxiety by practicing presence and noting each worry as an uninvited guest. Each time a worry came, they paused, labeled it as mere thinking, and turned attention to a meaningful action. Over months, anxiety lost its power. You may wonder, what if negative thinking returns? It will. The mind is prone to habit. But now you know the practice. Observe, question, choose. Each return is another chance to strengthen your inner freedom. Celebrate each moment you choose awareness over surrender. In the quiet before sleep, reflect. What negative thoughts surfaced today? How did you respond? What victories can you claim? Even tiny moments count. A single breath of awareness can change a day. Over time, those breaths accumulate, forging a mind that stands firm against storms. Now, envision your future self. Someone who greets challenges with calm curiosity, who listens to inner whispers with discernment, who acts from purpose rather than panic. Negative thinking may still knock, but it finds the door closed. You have built walls of wisdom and gates of choice. This journey requires dedication. Some days you will stumble. Perhaps a thought hijacks your mood and pulls you into anxiety. When that happens, be kind to yourself. Notice the pattern. Gently return to practice. Use setbacks as fuel for renewed commitment. Each time you rise after a stumble, your resilience grows. Consider sharing your journey with others. When you speak of how you overcame inner battles, you inspire them to face their own. Collective wisdom spreads, a community of minds practicing awareness, gratitude, and courage. Together, negativity loses its grip. No one escapes life's storms entirely, but you can be the calm in the storm. The Stoic mindset is not about blocking emotions. It's about feeling fully, yet not being driven by the darkest currents. You honor your feelings, but do not let them rule. You see thoughts clearly, decide which to follow. As this voice reaches your ears, let its rhythm sink in. Feel the determination stirring, a final reminder. Your mind is not an enemy to fear. It is a tool to master. Negative thoughts are challenges, not condemnations. Each challenge, faced with awareness and courage, makes you stronger. Now, if you felt this message resonate, hold it close. Return to it whenever negativity knocks. Rehearse the practice. Pause, observe, question, choose. Build your habits. Morning intentions, evening reflections, moments of stillness, voluntary challenges, presence, gratitude, and know this: the power to kill negative thinking has always been within you. Ancient wisdom shows the path. Modern life tests it. Step forward with confidence. Your mind can become your greatest ally. The war within can become a journey of freedom. If you want more guidance on deepening this practice, Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us where negativity grips you most. Let's explore together. Subscribe for more voices to guide your inner journey. Because this is not the end, it's the beginning of a stronger, wiser you.